We live in a world today where appearances can be powerfully deceiving. What looks attractive may not be good. What sounds right may not be true. Evil no longer always looks like darkness. It wears a disguise, often clothed in beauty, confidence, and influence. Today, I want to speak with you, not in fear, but in clarity, about recognizing the signs of an evil woman. Not every woman is evil, but there are some who have chosen a path of destruction, and if you don't discern the signs, you may lose your peace, your purpose, even your soul. One of the greatest deceptions in life is believing that all that glitters is gold. We often judge people what by our eyes see, what our ears hear, and what our emotions feel, but not by what the Spirit discerns. The first and most dangerous sign of an evil woman is her ability to hide behind charm. Her beauty may be captivating, her voice may be soft, her words flattering. But all of this can be a mask for a heart that carries no truth. The Bible warns that charm is deceitful and beauty is fleeting. What makes a woman truly valuable is not her outward appearance, but her inward character. An evil woman is often skilled at wearing the mask of goodness. She smiles in public, she compliments generously, and she appears kind, but underneath that surface lies manipulation, self-centeredness, and a hunger for power over people. You see, ladies and gentlemen, deception is the enemy's oldest tool. It began in the garden, and it still thrives today. Evil doesn't announce itself. It seduces. It draws you in slowly, softly. The evil woman may appear as everything you've prayed for. She seems understanding, loyal, supportive. But with time, her true nature begins to surface. She twists the truth, she controls conversations, and she always keeps you guessing. Her intentions are not to walk beside you, but to take control of your journey. The charm she uses is not to build unity, but to distract you from reality. In time, you find yourself losing your confidence, questioning your worth, and wondering why peace has left your life. What makes her charm so dangerous is that it's hard to identify at first. Evil doesn't always look like evil. It's often disguised as elegance, confidence, or even spirituality. She may say all the right words, but the fruit of her life tells another story. Her relationships are full of tension. Her history is filled with broken friendships, wounded people, and unresolved conflict. But she always plays the victim. She is rarely wrong. Her words are clever, but her motives are cold. She doesn't love. She manipulates. She doesn't help. She uses. And the entire time, she wears the smile of someone who seems harmless. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, we must be people of discernment. We cannot afford to judge by outward appearances alone. We must examine the fruit. Is there peace where she walks? Is there truth in what she says? Is there love in her actions? A charming personality is not a guarantee of a righteous spirit. The world may applaud her beauty, her status, her influence, but God examines the heart. And when a heart is filled with pride, manipulation, and deceit, no amount of charm can hide it from heaven. So do not be fooled. Ask for wisdom. Seek discernment. And remember, evil often wears a smile before it shows its fangs. Love is a powerful force. When it is genuine, it builds, restores, and nurtures the soul. But when it is counterfeited by manipulation, it becomes a dangerous tool of control and emotional destruction. One of the most telling signs of an evil woman is her habit of manipulating others under the disguise of affection. She doesn't truly love. She controls, she confuses, and she coerces. Her emotions are a weapon. Her kindness is strategic. She will give just enough to keep you tied to her, but not enough to set you free. It's not about building a bond, it's about maintaining power. She may say the right things, even use affectionate gestures, but always with a purpose in mind to get what she wants. Her concern is not for your heart, it's for her own agenda. She knows how to play the victim when confronted, how to twist truth to appear innocent, and how to shift blame to keep you feeling guilty or unsure. The more you give, the more she takes. And even when you sacrifice for her, she finds a way to make you feel like it's never enough. That is not love, ladies and gentlemen. That is manipulation in its purest form. An evil woman often uses silence, withdrawal, or emotional outbursts to control the environment. One day she showers you with warmth, and the next she is distant or cold. This pattern creates emotional confusion. It keeps the other person chasing, always trying to fix things, always trying to regain her approval. This is not a relationship. It is a game of dominance masked by the illusion of affection. True love brings stability and peace. Manipulation, on the other hand, thrives in uncertainty and emotional chaos. Her manipulation is not limited to romantic relationships. She may use it in friendships, families, or workplaces. She knows how to read people, how to exploit their kindness, and how to twist their trust into obedience. She may even appear to be generous or caring in public, but in private, she shows her true nature, controlling, demanding, and self-serving. She never truly gives without expecting something in return. She doesn't support others unless it benefits her image or influence. Over time, this kind of manipulation leaves emotional scars. People around her begin to doubt themselves. They feel drained, anxious, even depressed. But they can't explain why. That's the subtle power of manipulation. It wounds without leaving visible marks. It erodes confidence slowly. It makes people feel small, incapable, and dependent. And the manipulator always stays in control. Ladies and gentlemen, we must not confuse manipulation with care. A woman who uses guilt, control, and emotional games is not walking in the light. She may use sweet words and soft tones, but behind it is a desire to dominate, not to love. Recognize the signs. Do not mistake emotional control for genuine connection. True love does not trap you. It sets you free. And anyone who binds you with fear, confusion, or guilt is not walking in the truth. Pride is a dangerous poison when it is left unchecked in the heart. It inflates the ego, blinds the eyes to truth, and causes a person to believe they are above correction, above instruction, and even above God Himself. One of the clearest signs of an evil woman is a spirit of pride that refuses to be taught, humbled, or guided. She thrives on attention, craves admiration, and will do whatever it takes to be seen, praised, and celebrated. But underneath the surface, there is no room in her heart for accountability, truth, or surrender. This kind of pride is subtle at first. She might appear confident, even bold, but over time, you begin to realize that her confidence is rooted in arrogance, not strength. She cannot accept fault. She always finds a way to justify her behavior, even when it clearly hurts others. When confronted with truth, she deflects, shifts blame, or becomes defensive. She surrounds herself only with people who flatter her, not those who challenge her or speak truth. Anyone who disagrees with her becomes the enemy. That's because her pride can handle the light of correction. She builds her world around the illusion that she is always right, always superior, and always entitled. This pride manifests in many forms. It may be in how she belittles others to lift herself up. It may be in how she refuses to admit weakness, even when she is clearly in need. It may be in how she boasts about her image, achievements, or influence. But at the root of it all is the same issue, a heart that has placed itself on the throne where only God belongs. Pride is the foundation of rebellion. It is what caused Lucifer to fall. It is what causes people to resist wisdom, walk in darkness, and destroy relationships without ever feeling remorse. An evil woman with pride is dangerous because she sees herself as the standard. She becomes unteachable. She mocks those who live humbly or try to follow the ways of righteousness. She often disguises her arrogance as confidence or ambition, but it is not rooted in purpose. It is rooted in self-glorification. She lives to be admired, not to serve. She loves attention more than truth. And the moment someone threatens her spotlight, she turns cold, bitter, or even vengeful. Ladies and gentlemen, beware of the one who cannot apologize. Beware of the one who mocks correction. Beware of the one who is more concerned with being seen than being right with God. Pride is not just an attitude, it is a condition of the heart. And when that pride is left to grow, it leads to destruction. The proud woman may gain applause from the world, but she is far from the approval of heaven. Real strength is found in humility. True greatness is marked by a teachable spirit. And the woman who honors God does not lift herself up. She bows low, knowing that only He deserves the glory. Words carry power. They can build or destroy, heal or wound, uplift or tear down. The tongue is one of the smallest parts of the body, yet it holds the potential to set entire lives on fire. One of the unmistakable signs of an evil woman is the way she uses her words. Not to bring peace or wisdom, but to cause harm, division, and destruction. Her speech is not seasoned with grace, it is laced with venom. She may sound sweet at first, but over time, her words reveal the bitterness, jealousy, and pride that live within her heart. She is often the center of gossip, the one who spreads rumors, twists facts, and sows seeds of discord between friends, family members, and even within communities. She enjoys drama because it gives her control. She uses her words as weapons, carefully choosing when to flatter, when to criticize, and when to stir up tension. She rarely speaks out of genuine concern. Her corrections are not born of love, but of superiority. She thrives when others are at odds, and she plays both sides to keep confusion alive. Her mouth is a fountain of manipulation. One moment it praises, the next it poisons. She often hides this destructiveness behind a veil of concern or humor. She might say, "I'm just being honest," or "Don't take it personally," after saying something deeply hurtful. But honesty without compassion is cruelty, and jokes that degrade others reveal a deeper cruelty in the soul. An evil woman is quick to point out others' faults while ignoring her own. She's always ready with a word that cuts, always quick to share someone else's failure, and never slow to speak. Her words are reckless, but calculated to damage. Her speech can also be seductive, leading others into sin under the illusion of friendship or intimacy. She may flatter to gain trust, speak softly to lower defenses, and promise support while secretly undermining others. She builds alliances not out of loyalty, but out of strategy. She uses information as currency, trading secrets, exposing confidences, and betraying those who once believed in her. She sees words not as a way to heal, but as a means to control outcomes. Ladies and gentlemen, we must be vigilant about the power of speech. If you find that your peace is disturbed, your mind is confused, and your relationships are strained every time someone speaks into your life, examine their fruit. Evil women don't just carry poison in their hearts. They release it through their mouths. And their words leave scars that may never be visible, but they run deep. Do not ignore the damage of a reckless tongue. Choose to walk with those words bring truth and life. Avoid the voice that consistently brings confusion and chaos. The woman who speaks with wisdom and kindness builds up. But the one who constantly tears others down reveals the darkness that rules her heart. Words matter, and they reveal what is hidden. The lure of pleasure has always been one of the most powerful weapons of darkness. Temptation's not come dressed in ugliness or pain. It comes in the form of beauty, excitement, and promises of freedom. One of the dangerous marks of an evil woman is her complete disregard for purity. She prioritizes pleasure over holiness, sensuality over self-control, and temporary satisfaction over eternal truth. She encourages compromise, celebrates rebellion, and mocks the standards of righteousness. This is not freedom. It is bondage wrapped in seduction. This woman does not honor the boundaries that protect the soul. She sees purity as weakness, modesty as foolishness, and discipline as a limitation. She will call immorality empowerment and disguise disobedience as liberation. She will tell you to follow your heart while leading you away from the very principles that protect your heart. She will glorify the flesh, ignoring the consequences that follow. Her influence is dangerous because it appeals to what is natural in us, our desires. But it leads us away from what is spiritual, what is eternal, and what is truly good. She presents sin as harmless fun, and even noble causes as excuses for immoral behavior. She will tempt others to cross lines they once promised never to cross. She will test convictions, question morals, and minimize spiritual consequences. She speaks of love, but it is lust. She speaks of passion, but it lacks purpose. She does not build lasting relationships. She leaves behind broken trust, shattered dignity, and deep regret. And yet, she feels no remorse because she's convinced herself that right and wrong are old-fashioned ideas. This evil woman thrives in environments where people are vulnerable. She preys on insecurity and loneliness. She knows how to make people feel seen, desired, and validated, but only to draw them into her web of control. She doesn't offer true intimacy. She offers imitation. She turns what is sacred into something casual. She does not fear God, and therefore she does not guard what he calls holy. Her life becomes a revolving door of shallow encounters and emotional chaos, and wherever she goes, she encourages others to do the same. Ladies and gentlemen, purity is not about rules. It is about protecting what is sacred. When a woman leads others away from purity, she is not offering love, she is offering destruction in disguise. The soul that honors God seeks to walk in self-control, in dignity, and in wisdom. The evil woman seeks to indulge every craving and invites others to do the same. Her path may look fun, but it ends in emptiness. Her words may sound freeing, but they lead to chains. We must be watchful. Not every pleasure is good, and not every invitation should be accepted. The one who dismisses purity dismisses the very foundation of peace. A life without boundaries is a life heading toward ruin. So guard your heart. Do not be deceived by the appearance of freedom when it is only slavery to sin. Peace is one of the greatest gifts a person can carry. It is the quiet strength that holds families together, heals relationships, and creates a foundation where trust can grow. But when someone walks in darkness, peace is the first thing that disappears around them. One of the undeniable marks of an evil woman is division she leaves behind. She does not build bridges. She burns them. She does not seek unity. She thrives in conflict. Wherever she goes, strife follows. In homes, in friendships, in workplaces, and even in places of worship, she carries a spirit of division that poisons every environment. Her methods are often hidden behind charm and subtlety. She may not start arguments openly, but she plants seeds of suspicion. She whispers doubts. She stirs emotions. She feeds one person's insecurities against another. Her words are carefully chosen to divide, never to reconcile. She appears to be supportive, but only to one side. She chooses favorites, creates alliances, and quietly turns people against one another. What may begin as a small disagreement soon becomes a major rupture, and by the time people realize what happened, The damage is already done. She walks away untouched while others remain broken and bitter. This evil woman will use comparison as a tool. She will suggest that someone is more loved, more gifted, or more favored, and then stand back while jealousy brews. She will pit husband against wife, friend against friend, child against parent. She knows that division makes people weaker, and in that weakness, she gains more control. She doesn't have to yell or demand attention. She simply nudges people apart until they no longer trust each other. Her presence is like a storm that doesn't make noise but leaves everything shattered. And when conflict erupts, she plays the innocent. She denies involvement. She claims neutrality. She convinces others that she was only trying to help. But those with discernment will see the pattern. Wherever she is, peace is absent. Relationships deteriorate. Trust vanishes. Hearts grow cold. She leaves trails of bitterness that linger long after she's gone. Yet she takes no responsibility. Division is not always loud, but it is always deadly. And she is its master. Ladies and gentlemen, we must be people who watch for the fruit. A woman who constantly brings division, who stirs conflict, who relishes in brokenness, is not walking in the light. God is not the author of confusion, and those who walk with him will strive for unity, healing, and restoration. Evil cannot hide forever. Its trail always points back to the one who started it. If your peace has vanished since someone entered your life, examine the cause. If once strong relationships have turned cold and bitter, trace the path. Division doesn't happen by accident. It is often guided by someone who delights in control and chaos. Do not let such a spirit live close to your heart. Protect your peace, guard your home, and walk with those who build, not those who destroy. The most dangerous trait of an evil woman is not her charm, her manipulation, or even her division. It is her godlessness. At the core of her being lies a heart that has no fear of the Lord, no respect for righteousness, and no desire to walk in truth. She may talk about spirituality, she may even reference God when it suits her, but her life shows no evidence of true reverence. She is not submitted to his word, not guided by his spirit, and not convicted by his truth. Her foundation is not faith, it is rebellion. And a heart that rebels against God will eventually rebel against everything good. This woman scoffs at holiness. She calls godly values outdated, mocks those who choose purity, and finds joy in defying what is sacred. She treats sin, casually laughs at warnings, and rolls her eyes at conviction. To her, life is not about obedience. It's about doing whatever feels good. She is her own God, and she does not want to be told otherwise. She resists accountability and is offended by truth. Correction is an insult to her pride, and any authority that challenges her is labeled judgmental or oppressive. In reality, she has built a life around rejecting the very foundation of peace, wisdom, and salvation. Even when she speaks about faith, it is shallow. She may wear a cross, but not carry it. She may quote verses, but she lives by her own rules. She picks pieces of truth that benefit her and discards the rest. She has created a version of God that fits her lifestyle rather than shaping her lifestyle to fit God's truth. Her spirituality is an accessory, not a conviction. And while others may be deceived by her words, God sees the heart, and it is far from him. This godlessness doesn't just affect her, it poisons those around her. She leads others into compromise, encourages rebellion, and subtly pulls people away from their walk with the Lord. She makes obedience look foolish and sin look harmless. And those who are not rooted in truth may find themselves drifting, losing their spiritual hunger, and justifying choices they once knew were wrong. This is why her influence is so destructive. It's not just about behavior. It's about soul decay. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no lasting peace, wisdom, or joy without God. And anyone who lives in willful rebellion against Him, regardless of how charming or confident they seem, is walking in darkness. A godless heart will always lead others into confusion, chaos, and sin. We must not be impressed by appearance or drawn in by charisma. Look for the fruit. Does she lead others toward righteousness or away from it? Does she love God's word or mock it? Does she reflect light or darkness? A truly dangerous woman is not just morally lost, she is spiritually disconnected. And the further a person drifts from God, the more harm they cause to those who follow them. Stay alert, cling to truth, and walk with those who walk with Him.